Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report, and we'll be looking at the ASX, and we'll also be looking at CBA and ANZ. I'll also make up another video today which will go on the blog, which will have a lot to do with resources, so copper, iron ore and stocks in Australia and stocks in the UK and perhaps in the US in that genre as well. So check on the blog later in the day. It'll give you a bit of an idea of the strength of the commodities. Now, coming to the Australian market here, this particular move through here, as you can see, is really quite complicated. So I don't particularly want to get fixed on any particular wave count. What we're really looking for is a breakout or setup from this particular pattern. That would be the logical thing to do here. So just on the outskirts of all of this here, this, we've been looking for, because we've got 5 waves here, I just assumed after correction to the 61.8% mark here that we would be coming down again. Now, that's always been my basic sort of premise. A bit of a spanner in the works because we've got this really sideways complicated sort of correction here, which really is a triangle pattern, and I thought that it would just be a wave B, but as it is at the moment, basically. So an A wave, a B wave with the triangle in the B wave, and then the C wave up here with 5 waves in it as wave B, and then 5 waves down as 1 and 2, and coming down for 3 and 4 and 5 coming down through to here. So that's a real possibility, and that's sort of the way that I'm playing it. But I just want to be a little bit careful because this could also just move up here in 5 ways. From this low here, we could go 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, up into the 5-9 area here for wave B, and then come down as well. There's also a possibility that that this correction could be finished as well. So I've got to be careful about that. And the way that that would work would be having wave 4 here, and then that would be an A wave here, a B wave here, and basically the C wave here is wave 4 here, and this would be an ending diagonal triangle finish here. Yeah, it is a little bit tricky, and I just got to stay on my toes and just consider all the possible wave counts. So if this is a wave 4 in here, then we'll be taking out this top here. So there's a fair bit to consider. So what we want to do today is we want to have a look at this situation, then compare it to the banks as well, because obviously the banks are going to be driving this part of the market, the ASX 200. So on the 4-hour chart here, we can see how complicated it is here. So on the 4-hour chart here, I've got it as, I've just mentioned it as our sort of primary count here. Well, I wouldn't call it primary, it's just a count. And the way that it's setting up at the moment, we do have a few leads with this. It is getting to a point where we will know. So just open this up a little bit here. So in this particular case here, we've got wave B here, and then we'll be looking for 5 waves down. Wave 1, an A, and a B, and a C. So that top's really now got to stay in there. So if I put that on top there, that's really where that's got to stay. If that's breached, then we've got a different count. Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier in that, and we'll have a closer look at that. Then wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and down for wave 5 basically here. So that's a particular count at this particular point in time. Let's just go in and have a closer look at that. I think the hourly chart can do that. So it's kind of interesting because this is where the banks are at the moment too. So the move up here, if I count this as an A and a B and a C wave here, for wave 2 here, that's fine. It has moved through the 61.8% mark of the previous swing here, but I'm not too concerned with that because all the swings within this particular pattern across here have all, pretty much moved past their 61.8% mark. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I'm just more concerned about the pattern. So the pattern at the moment is that we can have this as wave C here because it's got 5 waves in it. And we can look at this as also having 5 waves in it here. It probably counts just as well as being corrective as well here. So I'm a little bit unsure, but this one here is certainly an A and a B and a C to this point here. Now, it could get, would need to see this move down from here. The other count with this here, looking at it in a more bullish light, would be, if I go to the 2-hour chart here, for example, then we would need to look at, let's bring this across a little bit. It will reveal itself shortly. So the move here would be wave 1 up here, ABC for wave 2 here, pulling back into the 61.8% mark here, and then going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then 5 up here. So if we get this 5 waves here, then we can look, we don't have to, do much at all really, because we would just wait for this as a trigger here. We'll get a better entry than this too, but let me just put this in here. So that would be our entry. We could probably get a better entry, if that's the case. So if it does move up today, then not to worry about it too much. Do you know what I mean? Because we will have 5 waves here, and it will pull back, and we will look for that setup here. And yes, we could get a better setup either on top of this one here or even further down. But it doesn't really matter at this stage. We need it to basically set up. So that's the case. Now, this wave 3 here and wave 4 here, that can still move down today. So really, if we're going to short, we want to see a move down into the 57.50 and a bounce off that and so on. We basically need to get an impulse wave coming down. So this little wave 4 here, from wave 2 to wave 3 here. So 38.2% retracement level is right here. So let me just borrow this line through here. Then remove that. So really, that mark there, that 5757 or 5756, or always like 56. So and if you're going to trade long today, then those little highs in here, these ones here, or good support on 72 here, is what you're looking at here. Okay, so long on support of 772, adding on 73 and 75, and you can trade up to the 58 area here, and then just exit it at that point. Okay, so any short trade here, we're expecting it to come down, down lower here for wave 4, to come back to the wave 4 of 1 less degree here. So a safe short really would be the 57.50 as a retested resistance. Okay, so let's just go back to the hourly chart for a moment. Where are we here? So on this bearish move here, this particular one coming down here, I just want to talk about that a little bit. So I'll just go to, CBA. Now, just to start with the daily chart here. Now, we know in the big picture with CBA, for instance, if I just go to the monthly chart here, that what I've never really been what I've been trying to work out is that I know that we've got, wave 3 here on the monthly, and wave 4 here, then wave 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up for wave 3 here. I've just never, I haven't been able to confirm yet if wave 4 is on this low here, or we're going to have a wave 4 over here with, just cleaning up here, so I go with another move down here first. And both are fine, and this is what I've been trying to figure out. So I move down here as wave 4, then the run up here. We're expecting the S&P 500 at 2,500 to basically react at 2,500. and come down. So maybe I was thinking we'd be coming down with that, finishing this leg off here. So we're at a really critical point here, and the move up from here, I'll just save this here, and then I'll go back to the daily chart from this point here just to talk about this little bit in here. I mean, it's nice to know where the problem sits, and then, hopefully you can find a solution, or I can find a solution. But, when this whole move was coming down through here, it was also a little bit complicated as well. But at the end of the day, that was the low there, right? Now, a market doesn't have to have that as the low. I mean, maybe we could have counted this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and a truncated fifth wave here. And that kind of works as well. That's why I've got wave 4 here. But from this low here, this move up here is definitely in 3 waves, right? So, and then we had this spike here, which sort of chucks a spanner in the works, but we definitely had 3 waves there. That's why I label it wave A and wave B here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then up here for 5. So it makes an A and a B and a C wave if I count that correctly. But if I use this as the low here, then we have 5 waves up here. Right, so if we have 5 waves up here, it can very easily be that, can I borrow this here? Can I move that? Yeah. It could very easily be that this is wave 1 here, and this is wave 2 here, and we're going to go up really strongly in a third wave going up here, to go up to the 100 there, in calling this wave 4 here. So I don't know I don't know. So what I've been doing is just basically waiting for evidence as such. So one of the things we're going to use with CBA, because CBA's got the largest weighting, I think it's 8.8% or something of the index. So it is like the big one in there. So that's why I use it a lot. So at 85 here, we could see that 85 was the resistance here. So my thinking was that if 85 became the support, then we need to be long at that point. Because when you're looking at a corrective wave moving up, when you're looking at when you're looking at something like this here, it counts quite nicely as a corrective wave, but at the same time too, it can be the beginnings of a bull market as well, because the beginning of a much larger trend is that it keeps building on top of each other, and it appears to be corrective, but it's actually building. So I'm very mindful of both directions, and I'm not fixed on either one yet. I just want to be open and look for the setup. So I know that with this market here, we can look at this as the A wave here, or even the A wave up here, and you can even put the B wave over here as well. There's lots of different ways that you can count this, but in the couple of ways that I can count it, it can be finished right on that high here. So if we made a new high, then it's likely that we're going to be looking at a more bullish market. But at the same time, we would want to get some sort of support and setup on top of the 85 here. Okay, so there's also the short side to consider as well, because if it is a B wave and it's going to come down, in this case here, I've counted it differently here. I can count it in different ways here, so it's not much of a hope, but it's all about the setup. So this move that's moved down through here, I was counting this up, it's a bit weird, but 1 here, ABC for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So it's really jammed in as a count. But I was thinking that, we need to consider both sides, because the move down through here at the moment can be counted as an impulse wave, then an A wave and a B wave and a C wave moving back up through here. So this low here for CBA would be the short here, but I know that we could bring it up much further, under this, just under the 84 here. So I'll just leave that there for the time being. If this pushes higher here, then we're not going to worry about it too much either, because if it pushes up through here, then we would still need then that would become the setup up here, and then we'll be looking to go long here. This is the same as what we're going to do with ANZ as well here. So we're getting to a point within the ASX 200 and the banking system that we'll be looking for trades. Okay, I know that we're sort of moved into the mining sector and all that's fine, that's trending, that's not a worry. On the tick chart here, just sort of get this going here. So this move here that's moved down here is quite sharp. That's the high here on this market anyway. So it does appear that we could have 1 and 2 here and all the way down for 3 and 4 and 5 here. Then an A wave and a B wave and then a C wave up here. But the C wave up here is probably not finished either, because if it's C wave 5 waves, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we could still get another little move here and then fold down here. CBA likes to cover its gaps as well, and it's got this gap here as well. But so we really only turn long when we've got this as a setup here, because when it comes up here and covers this gap, if it does, it's going to react again, isn't it? So we're not ready for a setup to go on this particular market. And this is also the same for the ANZ as well, if I can just use that as well. Now, it counts quite nicely as 5 waves down through here. And then we were looking for an ABC pattern pulling back into the box here. This moved quite swift. CBA moved swiftly in the beginning, but WBC and ANZ moved sort of swiftly towards the end, while CBA just sort of stood still. But we're in a situation now where this move up here, I've got it counted as an A and a B and a C, but it also can be counted in a very bullish manner as well. So I thought I had it on the 2-hour chart, maybe the 1-hour chart. Yes, of 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2. So it basically a building process through here to go up higher. I'm going to go back to the daily chart now, just to let you know that I'm looking at it in 2 different ways, because even in a bullish market, you know, the market's moved up to here, which was basically also pretty close to the target area that we were looking at before as well here, the 61.8%, a little bit above it into the 72, but you know, in that space basically. So we've got this this rally here, and this also counts from this low here, unless, you know, this has failed, like CBA failed to make a new low, because if I call this one here, then we'd have a different scenario at this point, you know. Yeah, so none of them really finish nicely down here, and it leaves it a little bit open. But also, you know, this sharp move down, this sharp move down here, and this rally back up through here to its 61.8%. So it's really good now. So we're on the level here of 30. So we can basically go short under these lows here, or we can go long here. But there's still more mucking around to do in here. So just be aware, don't get fixed on one side. Be open to trading both sides, and then you know, you don't miss anything, you don't get upset about anything, and you know, we're on the right side at the right time. It's not good to be fixed on something, you know, as such, unless unless something is absolutely, you know, staring you in the face as such. And for me, it's not at the moment with this. So we just need to be open to both sides for this. So a short trade under these lows for ANZ. Otherwise, if it moves up into this space here, then we'll look for long trades sitting on this support here. So I'll just leave it at that for the time being, and let's see how this sort of all shuffles into place. Okay, cheers.